This is the moment you've been building toward. You've done the prep work, formed your board, got your paperwork in order, and now it's time to file for that all-important IRS 501c3 tax-exempt status. This can feel like the most intimidating step in the whole journey, but today we're going to make it simple. So let's get this thing off the launch pad. Hey, it's Christian from InstantNonprofit, and if you've heard horror stories about IRS delays, denials, or endless follow-up requests, you're not alone. The truth is, the 501c3 process has changed over the years. A lot of the info that you're finding online is outdated, confusing, or just plain wrong. And that's why today, I'm gonna walk you through the two main application paths, talk about which one would fit your nonprofit, and then understand how to move forward with confidence. Now, there are two paths to 501c3 tax-exempt status for most nonprofits. Picking the right IRS form is like choosing your flight plan. It determines everything else. So let's talk about the two application types. Form 1023-EZ is the simplified version. It's shorter, cheaper, and faster to process, and if you qualify for it, it is the quickest route to getting out of the gate. The long form 1023 is more detailed and requires more backup documentation, and it's used by larger or more complex nonprofits, and yes, it does take longer. We call these the Express package and the Enterprise Launch package. But before you decide which one is right, there are some key criteria that the IRS is going to use to decide where you land. Let's talk about first revenue and asset limits. This path's simple, you just follow the money. The IRS says that if your nonprofit expects to bring in any manner into the bank account over $50,000 per year in any of its first 3 years, or if it's coming in with already having $250,000 in assets, which most don't, then you're required to file the full 1023 long form. If you're starting lean, you're under those numbers, or you simply don't have a path to more than $50,000, so you have no idea what you'll raise early on, then congratulations, you're probably like around 76% of our customers who qualify for our Express Launch package, which uses the 1023-EZ. Again, that's cheaper, more streamlined, and the approval process takes about 1/3 of the time. Now, I get it. No one wants to limit their potential, and I want to stress how important it is to understand that if you go with the Express and we use the 1023-EZ package, and then you exceed your wildest dreams and raise $1 million next year, don't worry, there's no harm, no foul, and no refiling. What will happen in that scenario is that just like when your own personal tax life becomes more interesting and you need to graduate from the simple 1040-EZ tax return to the full-blown IRS 1040 with schedules, like that scenario with your nonprofit, you'll simply change the type of tax return for your nonprofit, known as the IRS Form 990, by May of the following year. It's no big deal. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself for this decision. But if you're pretty certain that you will raise more than $50,000 in years 1, 2, or 3, for example, you've done this before and you've raised money, or you have large donors or grant makers waiting to fund you, or your mission demands big dollars, such as if you're building housing for veterans or building ocean monitoring satellites, then go ahead and make the ethical call and choose the Enterprise Launch package so that we form the 1023 long form. So congratulations. I know that's a lot of information, but that's a wrap on choosing the IRS application path for your nonprofit based on how much you'll raise. Part 3 of this video, we'll talk about organization type. The organization type determines your IRS application choice. Some organizations don't have a choice. They must go with the Enterprise Launch package and the 1023 long form. Because in addition to the IRS requiring the long form 1023 if you're expecting to bring in more than $50,000 per year, the following types require the long form regardless of anticipated revenue levels. A church, a house of worship, or a similar faith community is one. Or if you're filing for an accredited school or university, that also requires a 1023 long form. Finally, if you're filing for a hospital or medical clinic or a private foundation, and the private foundation is so unique, we treat it separately altogether. And if you want to talk about a private foundation, you'll want to book a call with us using the link in the description below. But overall, church, hospital, and school are the primary types of organization that are more complex and require a special IRS Form 1023 schedule to be added to your IRS 1023 long form application. So if your organization's a school, a church, offers scholarship, or meets other specific criteria, be sure to watch the upcoming video on how to know if your organization requires a schedule to be appended to your Form 1023 long form. But for now, this pretty much covers the different types of 501c3 nonprofit and how to make that decision between the 1023-EZ and the 1023 long form. And so that we can try not to confuse you, please note there are still more types of nonprofits that are much less prevalent, such as trade groups, aka chambers of commerce, which is a 501c6, or a political action grassroots lobbying type, which is a 501c4, or any of the other types of 501s besides 501c3. They will require the distinct IRS 1024 long form. We are not covering those in this video, but again, if you do want one of those, you'll usually be aware of that. In this video, we're sticking with 501c3. And again, if you don't fall into any of the categories covered in this segment of the video, then the 1023-EZ or Express Launch Package is probably your most rapid and efficient way to go. Part 4, you want to check before you file. Yes, I've covered some great information above, but you don't want to guess. So if you'd like to confirm your IRS application path before you hit submit or before you get help, then we've included a free 1023 eligibility checklist right in the video description below. And many of our other videos have exercises and valuable tools to help you be informed about all the things related to starting a nonprofit. So take 2 minutes to go through it. It could save you weeks of confusion and months of delay should you move forward. So now you've got your path. You know which version of the 1023 application for tax-exempt status you need, what the IRS expects, and how to avoid the classic mistakes that trip up new founders. I hope that's been helpful. Please like and subscribe and drop a comment with feedback so I can tailor what I do here to help you take action. Now, we live in a time of great uncertainty and great opportunity. In fact, the Chinese symbol for crisis is a combination of two characters, one that represents danger and the other that represents opportunity. And the way that I have found to transmute the feeling of powerlessness or anxiety into a feeling of power or peace is to quiet my mind in meditation, allow my thoughts to fade, and find this calling deep within me. My calling is to help you take action in whatever way you see fit. My peace and power come in large part from putting my phone and all the noise away and doing something about the things that I see that I want to change or that I don't agree with. So I invite you to also take action. Join us in the quiet, nonviolent revolution because the government, the institutions and powers that be, whom we've relied on for centuries, are no longer trusted and no longer effective. It's up to you and me and the millions of people like us to stick our necks out and take that call to action while we still have so many precious things worth defending and so many beautiful ideas like the one in your heart waiting to be brought into reality. And I want to hear your ideas. Leave a comment, book a call, or if you're ready to get this step off your plate and be done with the 501c3 process, then check out our done-for-you Express and Enterprise Launch Packages, where we handle all of the paperwork, the legal language, and the IRS filings for you, backed by our double money-back IRS approval guarantee. And in the next video, we're going to share how to shift gears and talk about how to fuel your mission, literally. It's called Seed Money Magic, and I'll show you how to raise your first $12,000 to $100,000 in startup funding for your nonprofit, even if you've never done it and you hate the idea of asking for money. Don't miss it. Let's keep the momentum going, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.